Sasa nishaanza tayari kurekodi hapa.
Nishaanza.
After tutatumia ni namba 5 wewe uko live sasa hivi. Sasa naomba kama kufua inaenda sasa na namba 5 ile sasa moja kwa moja mpaka tuziweke zile ya nyuma ili kubwa. Ndio hapa nasema 5 Shuleni. Hizi zinaleta sauti kubwa ngapi?
Hello, welcome to blah blah blah.
Unataka background iwe au yeye?
Hii ya 5 zinaleta sauti.
Hello, unasikia kwa hiyo?
Naipunguza sauti. Na mute tu kwa mic sina reflection. Na mute tu lakini kule
Naomba sasa mmoja atakuwa anachukulia comments kwenye YouTube. Chacha huyo na sasa. Nahitaji mtu kwa kazi. Naonekana lakini uko.
haina sauti.
Ni picha mmoja mdogo.
Sio hiyo bwana. Sio hiyo. Sio ingia ya pala hivi.
Niamini kazi ile ndio
nzuri.
Okay, kwa hiyo nikiongea sasa hivi nasikika hivi kwa mfano.
Size hapa iko hewani tayari.
Chacha unanipata
Kwa utakaje kuangalia kwa hapa
connect hapo sikia unapatikana kwenda wapi. Sema of course nani utakuwa na check hapo isikatike. Utakuwa na check kama ikatika kwa vile nisiende kuongea isikatike.
Hicho ni pale tu. Ikiendelea kwa pale on basi haina shida. Kwa hiyo nadhani unaweza kaendelea sasa. Si ndio? Ndio TEHAMA.
TEHAMA Shuleni.
Kuna mimi niingie kwenye simu tunaona.
Okay.
Wewe unachukua phone.
Wewe niendelea au?
Wewe endelea.
Walimu wanaonekana wangapi kule? Ukiangalia kuna ile walimu
Send demonstration.
wako 37
au kwa muda gani wanaona kuview?
ndio wazi wanaoangalia.
37.
Niambie.
Wewe uko ngapi?
Ndio kama siku.
Naambia wewe unafiki sasa hivi.
Haifiki.
Nadhani
kuna delay.
tuwe kimya kabisa. Tutakuwa tunawasiliana kwa chini. Na kama kuna kitu chochote tumeenda tofauti tutakunotify.
Okay.
Na ila picha msingi tutaongea kwa sauti.
Okay.
Shika vizuri kwenye kamera.
Okay. Inaonekana okay. Na wengine wanauza Facebook hii Facebook live inakuwaje? nani mmoja afungue TEHAMA. Okay.
Yeah.
Kuna mtu bila anajibu hapa. Awe anajibu hii.
Anajibu nini?
Nani ni channel yao anajibu.
Anajibu ni kwa nini? Kwa channel.
YouTube channel.
Yani lakini tukiingia si mpaka login.
Nikuulize ni password tu login. Ni nani? So nianza. Nikupeleka kama inaenda straight au ni kwa nini katika?
Wewe endelea sasa.
So, dear teachers, welcome to this online course for secondary school teachers. I am sure that many of you who are online now can be able to see me. And I am sure that some of you will be having some questions that we'll be asking in the process. So, first of all, we are actually sorry for the inconvenience that have happened because of the network issues. So, we are trying to see that everything is working fine so that we can be able to start straight away. And therefore, if you have any question, you have a chat down there, down your YouTube channel down, where you'll be posting up your questions, and then we'll be able to answer all these questions in the meantime that we'll be having. But generally, I welcome you all for this live interaction. So I hope it will be a useful interaction with you all. And I hope you'll be able to ask some questions that you think you have problems, still have problems, which are related to the course that we have been learning for the past 5 days. And this is actually the middle of the course that we are running. And I expect that we'll be having some of the queries and the questions that you need to get some answers to. And we are now ready to start answering your questions. Okay, so in the first place, the first thing I want to do is to tell you why we started this course. We actually started this course because we just saw that many teachers in Tanzania are not exposed to the use of technology in teaching and learning. And therefore, we thought it would be good that we start using the online environment to be able to use and be able to maneuver and be able to help themselves when they are actually putting practice in their teaching and learning. And therefore, what we did was to design a course that we thought many teachers could be able to afford. Even if you are teaching chemistry, you are teaching biology, you are teaching arts, you are teaching English, or you are teaching any other subject, you could be able to join and then be able to move forward. And therefore, what we did was to put some 10 modules that we thought would be common and having all the activities.
Sorry, kuna sauti hapo inatoa sauti. Mute YouTube yako na mic.
Okay, so yeah, so what we did was to design the course and then be able to run a survey. I hope most of you were able to answer some of our questions. So one of the questions that we asked was to know the possession of your laptop, how many of you possess laptops, and how many of you possess smartphones, and how many of you have been able to join 1 or 2 courses in the online environment. So you could see that about 78% possess, and about 99.6% of all possess smartphones. And therefore, if you can be able to design something that can be used on a smartphone, we could be able to capture many of them while you are knowledge professional. And therefore, what we did was actually to design a course which you could be able to access also using your mobile phone. You remember in the first video, we actually explained on how you can be able to access the resources using your smartphone. And I'm sure most of you, some of you, might have got some time to explore the course using their smartphones, and you have seen that you can be able to learn in the process, even if you are traveling, Even if you are moving from one point to another, you don't need to have a laptop all the time, but you can be able to do everything from your smartphone. So that was the motivation behind. But another motivation was actually, if you look into the teachers of other parts of the world, if you take India for instance, you take China for instance, teachers are much more trained on how to use technology in their teaching and learning. It's not because the government is putting a lot, but teachers themselves are putting effort to be able to learn some new technologies that are coming up, so that they can be able to add or be able to apply the technologies that can be able to help them in the process of teaching and learning. And therefore, one motivation that brought about this course was also to allow our teachers be able to see the basics. What are the different ICT tools that he or she can be able to use when he or she is delivering his lecture. Even if you're teaching English, there are some of the software tools, there are some of the content or materials that are available online, which you could be able to use when you are actually teaching your English subject. Even if you are a science teacher, there are some of the materials that are available online, there are some of the techniques and tools that you can use to implement or to enhance your teaching and learning in the process. And therefore, what we did, we actually asked you one of the questions that, which of the topics do you think would be important to be incorporated in this particular subject? And therefore, some of you listed some of the topics, and we also had a set of topics that we had in mind, and then we actually had to mix all of these topics together to form the 10 modules of our topic, as you have seen them in the process. So far now, you have been able to cover 5 modules, and then we'll be having some other 5 modules in the process towards the end of this course, which may be better in terms of the applicability and in terms of activities and sessions that we'll be having in the process. So yeah, this part here, we are in the middle of the course, and therefore we are actually making a reflection of how much we have been able to learn in the process, and of how much we can be able to learn in the next 5 or 4 days that are remaining to complete this course. Some other countries take courses, longer courses, maybe 1 month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks longer. But for us here, this was just the first course. That we expected teachers to participate in, and therefore we have seen the attendance of teachers, we have seen the discussions of teachers in the discussion forums, we have seen the participation of teachers in the discussion forums as well. So we see that teachers are not participating, which gives us a picture that we can be able to design a bigger course that many of you can be able to participate, given the experience that we are getting right now and the knowledge that you have got from these particular few days that we'll be learning about the basics of ICT. And therefore, this is actually a test course where we want our teachers to get used to the online environment, how we learn from a distance. Imagine I'm now at UDOM, just sitting here at UDOM, but I'm teaching you teachers from different angles of Tanzania. Some from the south, Ruvuma, Songea, Lindi, and some are from the north, Arusha, Kilimanjaro, Mara region, and some are from the east. You have Dar es Salaam, Morogoro, Pwan. So many of you are coming from different angles, but you are now seeing me and be able to appreciate the use of technology and how we can be able to use technology in the teaching and learning. This is the practice that has been done in many countries. Taking India as an example, India has a very big initiative that is using in training teachers, increasing professional development of their teachers, where we actually have centers, and these centers are actually used to train teachers located in different locations. Therefore, probably at some point when we are moving forward, we could be able to design a module where we can be able to train. Maybe at one time I'm sitting here, and at one time I can be able to teach everyone who is in maybe Morogoro region. What I can be able to do is actually, I tell all teachers who are in Morogoro region, okay, all of you meet at one school, say Kirakara Secondary School or Mzumbe Secondary School. We'll have a live session. I will be teaching from Dodoma, and you'll be seated in Morogoro region and one of the centers. And then I'll be able to deliver questions, I'll be able to teach you, and you'll also be able to ask questions in the process that will be helping you to do so. So this is actually the motivation as to why we are providing this course. And we want you teachers to be used to the online environment, because there are many resources that are available in the online environment, of which many of you don't know. About, and some of you will be learning them in the process within the next 5 days, but I'm sure that you're going, at the end of the day, when you finish the 5 days of this course, you will not be the same. Actually, you will have gained some of the knowledges that you did not have. And so far right now, I'm also seeing the feedback from your emails you are sending. But again, from the responses you are sharing, that this course has been used so far to many of you, and probably the 5 coming is maybe even better in terms of so yeah, that is all about the rationale of this particular course. So probably because most of you have had some problems in the process of joining and completing all activities, I want you to look into the screen, because I want to show you on how you have to participate best. Remember, when you're in the online environment, the participation of yourself and the interaction that you make in the online environment is where learning takes place. So in the online environment, we expect you teachers to be able to share experience, and sharing of experience is actually done in the discussion forums. Discussion forums is the point where all of you teachers can be able to share resources, can be able to share, contribute knowledge, you can be able to share your experiences from your schools. You can also be able to give examples of experience from your schools. Okay, say you are from Morogoro region, and then maybe from Kirakara region, Kirakara Secondary School, you can be able to share your experiences from Kirakara. In Kirakara, we do like this and that and this. Or maybe you are from other school like Mwanzi, or you are from Tanga region. You can be able to share your experiences and be able to help other teachers who are actually experiencing the same problem, and then be able to apply the same skills as you are doing in your courses. So it's actually a matter of sharing, participation in the online environment, and contributing in the process that makes you be able to achieve, or you're not able to view some videos or something. This is share your technical questions. Here is the point where you have to share to answer your questions. Like this one, George Karul Damas has put a question on time for a live interaction. Now you see there are 4 people who have to this particular comment. So now there is a problem on TPCK. One has replied to this content. So the numbers you see here, this will be their replies. So what I encourage you is, because these are the questions that are being posted by you participants, I want you, again, you participants also have to reply to these questions. This is the process of learning. Therefore, if I post a question, I may not be able to answer this question, but other participants from other regions or from other schools, or who may be having some more experience, may be able to answer this question. So it's good that you also participate in the process of answering these questions, so that you are also learning and sharing experiences from your schools, and you're also participating in a way in the process of learning. So I expect from today also, whenever there is a question that is being posted here, you have to make sure that you are participating by. So what you do is, for instance, this micro credential and OER, click on this particular topic here. This question will be opening up. Now this is the question being asked by Asha Shabani Kitundu. She's saying, what is the micro credential form of OER? So whenever you want to reply to this particular comment, this particular post of Asha, you have to click on this particular point here. Reply, click on reply, and then here is the point where you have to write your text. So, okay, maybe a micro credential and OER is blah, 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 blah. So you put some statement here. And remember, when you're contributing in online discussions, what you have to do is actually to give what you call constructive feedback. A feedback that is constructive. So we don't put feedback like, okay, yes, okay, very good, very nice, very good, wonderful, excellent. No, these are not feedbacks. So whenever we are actually teaching normally, even if you're teaching students in your class, whenever a student tries something that is positive or has given a response that you think is positive, we don't say, yes, okay, good, sit, nice, very good, excellent. No, that's not a response. A good response is 1 or 2 sentences. Say more. Okay, very good, you have done this and it looks very nice because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is good because maybe sometimes you can also criticize. Yeah, this would be okay, but if you had done like this would be much better compared to the original way you have done that. So always when you're giving your comments, don't write 1 sentence. Write something that is constructive. It's a feedback that whenever this Asha comes back to read about the responses from her peers, she'll be able to get some knowledge and experience from you teachers from different levels. That is what we do. And this principle has to be applied in all the courses, because I'm sure from here you'll be able to join some other online courses, of which you'll be required to participate in online discussions. So participation in online discussions is not limited to giving answers like yes, no, very good, excellent, nice, good answer, a good response. That is not the response we want. We want a response that is rich enough, that is constructive enough, that can be able to allow us to be able to learn from what you are posting in that particular process. So that's what we do while we're giving up the responses. So you start writing the sentence here or blah, 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 and then put maybe some 2 or 3 lines to explain about the concept you're saying. So from there, after writing this, then you click post forum. So if I post here, post forum, I will see that my post has been recorded. Now you see now my post is recorded because I have put a constructive feedback, which is 2 or 3 lines, or 4 or 5 even 10 lines, at least some sentence or paragraph that explains about the concept. That's how we actually learn in the process of online environment. So now that was all on the general aspect of the course and the portions of this course. Now, after completing all these 3 portions that are very important for you to be able to move forward, we start with module 1. So module 1 is like day 1. What we are doing with day 1, the activities, the videos, and some of the issues that you have to go through. So like here, on day 1, we had an issue where we had to start with ICT in Bangladesh. So you had to watch a video and then be able to reflect from the video that you had what you have been able to learn, and then you had a video to watch. You had another video, and then you have a quiz I can be able to see how many participants have answered this particular quiz. So now I see this quiz was attempted by 89 participants only. From my database here, I see that I have 134 teachers. Participants of this course are actually, now I can be able to see that this course has 114 teachers who are actually live in this course, but who have completed all the activities, or all the quiz. This quiz number 1 are only 89 participants have answered, only 89 participants have answered quiz number 1, which implies therefore that some of you, about 20 or 25 teachers, have not been able to complete this particular grade. So again, likewise for day 2 and day 3, designing this course is, we have videos that are made from home, which we have made by ourselves. We also have some other videos from other people or from YouTube that will be opening you up with different experiences, and on, of course, thinking on how you can look into that particular topic from other perspective. We don't want you to be restricted with what we are providing you, but we want you to be able to learn from also other participants and other videos from elsewhere. That's why we're seeing, like, on day 1 you had a video on TPAC, which was actually explaining on how TPAC and TPCK all are working, and therefore learning from this particular TPAC. And then, of course, in the end, we have assimilation quiz. Normally, the moment you hear an assimilation quiz, it's actually a quiz that needs you to reflect from all the resources that you have been learning, and then answer the questions that are coming from those resources. So if I have given you a link to read, if I've given you a new video to watch, if I've given you maybe a paper or a document to read, I'll set some questions from those assimilation quiz, which you have to attempt as well. So that is all about the assimilation quiz. But again, you have discussion 1, which is actually a discussion that is involving, which we had to reflect from TPAC framework, and then, of course, if there were some questions, you could be able to answer as well. In the online environment, participation discussion to learn in the process. Yeah. What have you learned about TPAC framework? So I see participate. Again, I am seeing some posts are not answered. 10000. The moment I see that some teachers have not comment on the comments, posts shared by these people. So from now on, when you make sure that first of all you write a post by yourself. So you go to, when you want to write a new post, you go to add a new discussion topic here, and then of course you have to write a topic. Now this particular point here is where you have to write a topic, the subject of the topic. Maybe you want to say my learning, maybe my feedback, for instance, or my learning, or my reflections, or just a title that is actually reflecting with what you're going to write down here. So you put your question or reflections or something. You put something about what you have learned. So the moment you have written something here, you just have to come and post it to the forum. So this question will now be posted to the forum, where you'll be able to see now, oh, my question has been posted, and therefore someone from outside can be able to answer. Now you see, your post has been posted, and this is my feedback here. It is posted by myself here, and I'm sure that my post is there. So what I want, if I post like this, I have to go to some other, maybe someone else here. I could go to this TPAC number 1 here, and then I have to make a comment. Learn from the comment he or she has given, and then be able to write something later to this. Now, if I want to reply to this comment, what I do is click on the reply, and then I'll be able to answer a comment based on what he or she has answered as a question. So we want you from the next sessions to participate in this way, so that you can be able to learn and gain the knowledge that you want to require to get. I hope this in one of the videos was, you have to make sure that when you finish watching a video, you finish posting in the discussion forum and doing the activities that are required, there is these boxes which you have to check here that you have completed your activities. So like here, if I have finished watching this video, I will come and click here so that this video is marked as complete. Now I see that this is checked. If I finish watching this video here, I have to check this so that it is checked as completed. Because if you check here, is the moment I go to see the reports. Now I click on reports, I go to activity completion reports for myself here as a teacher. I'll be able to see all those participants who are active and who have completed all activities, and all those who have not been able to complete all activities. So if I look, I take one participant for instance, Farida Athman, she has done the first part, the second and third and fourth she has not done. She has done the fifth, and these have not been done. She might have done, but she forgot to check these points when she completed doing the activities. So likewise, Bihemo Anton, he has done only 1 point. Likewise, Emmanuel Barut, he has done like this. But Ayub Adam, Patrick Aman, these have done very well because they can be able to, you can see they have done at least completed most of the parts. You see, most of the parts have been completed and filled. So you see, but so many of you participants have not filled these portions. And therefore, for me here, it records to me that you have not been able to complete all the activities and be able to do the way you are required. The way you are required. Yeah, so that is how it works. And another thing I wanted you to see before we proceed is actually on responses. Okay, so this was the live interaction. So the time for you yesterday who suggested about analysis, about what will be the time for this live interaction. This is the feedback I hope you can be able to see. So those who said we start at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. were many because 31 participants said so. Only 21 participants said from 2 to 4 p.m. Therefore, that's why you have set our session to start at 3 o'clock because of your votes that you voted for. And so I hope you have all the you can now be able to know how you have to navigate throughout the course or towards the end. We are now today on week 5, here day 5 in live interaction on June. So we had our first videos here that you had to watch, and this was the video on how to create your email, a good email. And I'm sure now you know how to create a good email, how you have to put your salutation, your greetings, how you have to write to your body, how you have to sign off, and how you have to put your signature. That will be a beautiful type of style of writing, which will actually impress you whenever you're writing emails, even to your seniors, your head of departments, your peers or your friends. It will look like you're now a professional email writer who brings some changes in the way you write your emails. You could also be communicating to your parents as well, or because of technology now, you can also be communicating with your students. Your students are in your holidays, maybe they ask you questions through email. You write a good email that shows that this is a professional email, not an email that has no where to go through. So from tomorrow we'll be moving on to week 6, day 6 all the way to day 9. Probably if we have enough time also we have some other live interaction towards the end, maybe Friday or Saturday, depending on the availability. And then we will be coming towards the end of the course. So this is all about the system, and if you still have a question related to the use of the system and how you have to navigate, you could be able to write your questions in the tab comment section and then be able to move forward. So now, okay, maybe I put some 5 minutes break, and then you write some questions on the YouTube comment down, your live comment, then we'll be able to collect your questions, and then from there, after 5 minutes, I will come to start answering all the questions that you have shared in your questions. So I'll be starting to answer the questions. So now I see there are 31 participants who have shared their questions, and then these questions, if I look at the responses here, I can be able to see all the responses from you. So now, out of 32 responses, people who have responded, 29 are males and only 3 are females. And of course, these are the questions. What are your questions about the content of the 5 days? So we have a lot here, a lot of responses. And then we have other responses for what are your questions related to general course design. We have a lot of them. And then we have what are general questions related to remaining part of the course. So we have a lot of answers here, a lot of questions here. And then we have other questions as well. So if you have not posted any question, you can post now for within 5 minutes. And then we'll be resuming to continue with the portion of the 5 minutes. Thank you. Maswali ndo na what follows is questions here. Nataka kuna YouTube clip na nini sijui. Sijui kuna nini.
Kaangalia tukati. Hata hapa. Lakini hapo nataka kama utakayoacha hapa tunaonekana ni display.
Nimeacha maswali. Swali la kwanza. Lakini kumbe haijakatika inaendelea.
Huko mnaendelea.
Nani kuna mahali naona kuna wanaume?
Endelea.